Everyone, I finally played Yakuza 0 for the first time and oh my god, I cannot believe I've waited so long to play these games. This was my first ever Yakuza game and I knew very little going in. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you why it's worth being played by anyone, how it went way beyond any preconceived notion I ever had, and quite frankly, how it had a profound effect on me that I have not had in years beyond comprehension. I wasn't even planning on making a video for this game. I was just playing it. It's why the only footage I can show is just from my Twitch stream, so forgive me for the constant face cam and all the gameplay, but this will also make things better at certain parts, trust me on that. This video is also sponsored by Baiyi, but I'll get to that in a bit. If you're not familiar with any Yakuza game, it's essentially a beat 'em up. Get into fist fights with tons of dudes, do all kinds of combos and environment interactions, you're able to swap between 3 fighting styles on the fly, and the game encourages you to mix it up for better efficiency. But the real treat to the fighting are the heat actions. While you're fighting, you build up this blue meter, which makes you faster and stronger. But you can also spend that meter for absolutely devastating attacks. I'm talking smashing a dude's face into the wall. I'm talking grabbing a bicycle and slamming it down on some sucker already on the ground and then jumping on him afterwards. I'm talking lifting a dude up and back slamming him onto a rack. These are the real treats to the fighting. Look, all this, dodging, weaving, getting in for hits, it's all good and plays amazing. Like, I haven't played any kind of brawler with combat that feels this good. But the heat actions? Oh my god, these are the desserts with the extra cherry on top on a premium buffet of delicious responsive gameplay. These heat actions are context sensitive too, so you'll see all new ones depending on what fighting stance you're in, when you pull them off, what you're next to, or if you're holding any kind of weapon. Look at this! I just shoved nails in this dude's mouth and then hit him. But it's okay, because Kiryu has never killed a man. Every single one of these heat actions are so damn satisfying to watch. The sound design makes each one super impactful, like BAM! God, even I felt that one. Any fight that breaks out is a treat. You could end up surrounded by like 4 dozen dudes, and the only thought through your mind will be, hell yes, playtime. It's like every single battle is a playground. Sometimes you fight at a literal playground, but each one is so fun thanks to the wide variety of actions you have available to you at any time. But all these brawls, the sick, super fun combat that would bring smiles to even the most cautious action game fans, this is Yakuza's hook. This is what you see and you think, oh dude, yeah, that does look kind of fun. It's what hooked me. As good as all this is though, this is not the best part of Yakuza. No. What really keeps you into this game and playing it is the incredible cinematic story that will get you emotionally invested in ways you never thought possible. It's the side quests that will leave you laughing at its absurdity, and it's all the extra mini games that are all way more fun than they have any right to be. First though, let me tell you about this video's sponsor, Baiyi. Ever try importing anything from Japan and then realize just how much more expensive it is than it really should be? That's why Baiyi exists. Baiyi is a service that lets you place bids on auction sites or order things on Japanese shopping sites and ships it directly to you without absurd price hikes. This includes websites like Rakuten, Amazon Japan, and Yahoo Japan Auction. Need to import a specific game or you're looking for a particular piece of gaming merch? Baiyi is perfect for that, making sure you get it at a much more affordable price. For example, you know what I don't have? A Super Famicom copy of Final Fantasy IV. I could try eBay and pay way too much, or I could get Baiyi to get it directly from Japan for a fraction of the price. Baiyi is easy to use and is supported by tons of languages, including English, and ships worldwide, including Europe and Australia. It has multiple shipping options, multiple payment options, and also has several insurance plans to match your needs. Click the link in the description below to check out Baiyi and get started with some savings today. And thanks again to Baiyi for sponsoring this video. Okay, I gotta tell you about the story. I had no idea what I was in for when I chose to play Yakuza 0. The best way I could describe it is a melodramatic soap opera, expertly crafted with cinematography that most other video games should really take notes from. A lot of the times, it's not necessarily what you're saying, but the way you say it. It's the way Yakuza 0 showcases cutscenes with amazing acting and face animations that really sell you on what's going on, even if you can't understand it sometimes. I will admit that it gets needlessly complex, as it's a lot of talk about real estate and the hierarchy of different Yakuza families with constant name drops of people you've never even met. I definitely missed out on details, but I was able to keep up enough to stay invested every step of the way. On its surface, there's a lot of specifics about who owns what and who is trying to usurp who and who is on your side, who is just using you. It's hard to keep up. Most importantly though, the whole story is entirely character driven. Things aren't happening for the sake of happening. It's more about how does what is happening affect the characters? How does it influence their choices and change them as people? How does their hardships make you root for them? Some of these scenes are palatable with intensity, keeping you on edge. There are so many powerful emotional moments. Who didn't feel something in that one cutscene between Nishikiyama and Kiryu? You know the one. Let me give you an example of just how moving the story beats are. This is a graphic made showing my actual reaction at the end of the different chapters. This is as succinct as it gets. I felt many things the entire playtime and haven't had this kind of emotional investment in a long ass time. And I haven't even mentioned the best part yet. Watching Kiryu overcome insurmountable odds, get beaten down every step of the way, and still doing his best to do what is right is inspirational. You watch him and can't help but admire his tenacity and ideals. But then, this guy shows up. Oh my god, Majima. When I started playing this, the only thing I knew about Majima were brief clips of him from other Yakuza games, and they were always funny, so I had this assumption that he was this ridiculous comic relief guy. And maybe that's true, I don't know, I haven't played them. But in Yakuza 0, he is one of the most complex, relatable, and brilliantly flawed characters I've seen in a long time. This man is the star of the show. Oh, there it is! You know, I just went off about how much I loved Kiryu's storyline. Multiply that tenfold for Majima. His story is so freaking good and held my attention in a much stronger way that I love. Also, remember how I was just gushing about that gameplay? Now double it for Majima. He's got his own heat actions, his own upgrades, his own fighting styles. Oh my god! Bam! Oh, look at this! He's breakdancing on fools like... I was having a great time with Kiryu, but one chapter into Majima, I was all in. I have relinquished my self-control and reasoning entirely to Yakuza 0. Kiryu's story got me feeling things, sure, but Majima's story? That shit made me straight up cry. Come for Kiryu and his origin story, but you stay for Majima and how he straight up doubles the gameplay. Oh wait, there's more gameplay stuff to talk about. Okay, I know I said it's a brawler, but it's an open world brawler. Both Kiryu and Majima have their own cities to explore. However, unlike open world games, these are not massive, sprawling cities that you're spending way too long running between. Each map is a small section that is filled to the brim with things to do. It only takes what, like a minute and a half to run from one end of the city to the other? It's small, way smaller than you would think. Sorry, I know I just said it only takes like 1 minute to run from one side of the city to the other. In reality, it takes about 5 hours. That's because it is so packed with things to do. It feels like you can't go 4 steps without bumping into random battles or the multitude of side quests. These side quests are amazing. They are ridiculous, over the top, silly, and every single one is worth doing. The writing in these are fantastic, from the engaging, hilarious characters that pop up in them to the ludicrous scenarios. There's one about a guy running around stealing pants. You have to rescue a girl from a cult. You gotta help Michael Jackson. There's a punk band that doesn't know how to act tough, so Kiryu teaches them how to be cool. There's something like 100 of these in the game. Each one is so worth doing. Do you get rewards from doing it? I don't really know. Probably, but it was the writing and just how funny each single one is that made me look forward to every one I stumbled upon. That's reward enough. For how intense, dramatic, and nerve-wracking both main stories are, the side quests provide some much-needed levity. These work in tandem, enhancing the impact of both. The side quests are funnier because you just got done holding your breath, your hands over your mouth as you ended a chapter. The story cutscenes are so much more incredible because you just got done bowling so well that you won a chicken. The side quests are not a simple distraction. They are as fulfilling and enjoyable as the main game itself and will help pump out tons of extra game time just trying to find them all. The real distractions are all the mini games. Oh my god, look at all these mini games. If you thought you couldn't get across town because of side quests, imagine how tough it is when you keep seeing fun little things to occupy some time on. Bowling, pool, darts, a batting cage, karaoke, fishing. Go to the arcade and spend way too much time playing the crane game trying to get a stuffed Sega Genesis toy. Why? Because you want it. That's it. No other reason. Hell, I'll just sit down and play some Outrun because I feel like it. It's near impossible to run past any karaoke bar without hopping in and belting out a tune. Some of these minigames are so fleshed out that they could really be their own whole game. The mini car racetrack is so in-depth and more complex than it has any right to be. Car stats, rare parts, customizing pieces, and then you race it and it's like goddamn Beyblade on a racetrack. Kiryu has a whole real estate side hustle where he's buying up properties and improving them for extra income to spend on upgrades. And all this is tied to its own complete side storyline, separate from everything else. But the best minigame? Majima's Cabaret, baby! It's a business mogul time management game that's so addictive. Be the best nightclub in town by making your hostesses as premium as possible by leveling up their stats and training them. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this before, but I love this kind of shit. Any game where you can play dress up and has a wide assortment of fashions available? My god, yes, give me more of this, please. Look at her. This is Yuki, the first girl you get. Sure, she's fine, but when I'm done with her, boom, oh my god, brilliance and elegance made manifest. Choosing dresses, hairstyles, the best accessories. I'm not even looking at these stats. I just want them to look and feel the best possible versions of themselves. This is my jam, and it also has its own entire storyline to play through. Real talk though, how is this not its own game yet? Sega, just take this and put it on my phone. I will give you all the dollars. All of these mini games and side quests are vital to the Yakuza experience. It's what balances out the overtly serious tone. The best way I can describe it is that Yakuza is a fantastic story game about real, believable characters that pushes story beats forward and keeps you engaged. But at no point does it forget that it's a video game. Side quests, minigames, ass beatings, they have a story to tell, and it embraces the medium so unabashedly that it's refreshing. It isn't trying to be so lifelike and cinematic that it wants to be a movie. No, it's a video game that has a story that uses the fact that it's a video game to tell it. By the time I finally saw the credits roll, I had realized that Yakuza did something for me. A feeling that had been dulled and subdued as the years go on. A part of me that I thought was lost due to my profession, to constant exposure to mediocrity and the homogenized AAA titles that go too broad for an appeal. Yakuza 0 made me enjoy playing video games again. That may sound like a stupid thing to say, because I've still played some games that I liked over the years. Turning one of your passions and hobbies into work can diminish your love for the very thing you like doing the most. And that is more than true for me personally. It's why I focus so much on retro games or RPGs that I know and love, because so many new games are just boring to me. But this game, this game! It's like I got to have my first breath of fresh air after a decade of drowning in an ocean of banality. Every facet of Yakuza had what I like from playing. Incredible, engaging storylines that's all about characters, side quests as good as the main story itself, minigames that go beyond distraction and are an enriching piece of the experience. Yakuza 0 is a sum of its parts. Take any one of those parts and it wouldn't be the same. I am thankful for each one. I looked up about how long it would take to finish Yakuza 0, and it was something like 30 hours. I said to myself, oh, okay, cool. I can probably get that wrapped up in a handful of streams. And I played it for, just a little bit more than that, and I could have easily kept going. So good job, Yakuza. You got me. I went from kinda maybe interested to I have to play the others now. I was told that Yakuza 0 was the best one to start with, and that seems to be the case, but I also know that some of the older games are, we'll say rough around the edges. My plan was to play Yakuza 0 and then Kiwami and Kiwami 2, which are remakes of the first two games. Then I may just watch cutscene compilations of Yakuza 3 through 5, maybe play 6, and I've had so many people tell me I really need to play Yakuza 7 like a dragon, because that one is just straight up an RPG. But I also hear the Judgment games are really good, so maybe I'll want to check those out. Look, I just gushed about a game I knew close to nothing about. If that isn't enough to convince even the most minutely interested of you, I don't know what else you need to hear. You should really play this series. I'm already excited for Like a Dragon 8. I know there are tons of new games coming out, and I'm still balls deep in this whole Final Fantasy thing, but man, I am so glad to have finally gotten my hands on this series. I did not know just how badly I needed it. That's it. I just had a lot of thoughts about this, and I wanted to splurge. Thank you for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more. And if you want to see more of me, please follow my Twitch and Twitter, because at some point, I'm going to do even more of this series. Or if you'd like to rewatch my entire playthrough of Yakuza 0, you can over on my new Stream VODs channel. I can't believe it's taken me this long to finally play Yakuza, and for that, the only thing that I can say is,